Hey everyone, so I'm here with Tony Azevedo, 5-time Olympian, silver medalist. We've been working with Tony for quite a while now, Ryte Sport and Azevedo water polo. Tony's wearing one of his tank tops actually right now. And we've done some really cool things, and he actually has a pretty big announcement, something really cool that's going to be going on. And what's that?
Yeah, well, we're finally getting in to the ball, right? It's obviously something we're especially me going around the world doing as many things as I do. I need a good quality ball, and I think there's always time to innovate and to create new things, and I think it's going to be fun seeing where we take the ball.
Nice. Okay, so I feel like there hasn't been really a ball in a while. Everybody's kind of been doing the same thing a while. There's a couple coming out. What kind of made you really want to come out with a new ball?
Well, for me, one of the things that was most important is, like I said, I probably do around enough events where I'm hitting 2,000 kids in a year.
Yeah.
And that means there's a lot of balls that these kids are using, right? And it's unfortunate that balls are so expensive, and it's really hard to get the right ones and the sizes. So that was really one of the first reasons. The other reason, I look at major sports around the world, and if you want to really ever get to that level, you need competition for all of us to grow. And I think that by creating a ball that we believe can become one of the best balls in the world, and that we can have a brand behind it that treats people the way we want to be treated, that grows the sport the way you want to grow the sport, that gives back to the communities, that's what we want here. And so it's an exciting time for me to reach out to that dynamic.
So what would when people think of a ball, they kind of think like, what else can be different about it? You know what I mean? So what, in your opinion, makes the ball you're coming out with better or different than what's on the market now?
One of the things that makes the balls that's not so great about having some of the balls that are out there now is how they don't last at all, right? So if I'm a kid at home and I want to buy a ball, well, guess what? I throw it against the wall, I pass a couple times, I shoot. A month later, that ball's terrible.
Yeah.
Right? And to be able to have a good ball for you to practice different moves is important. So what we did is we made the grip part of it, right, the channels a little wider and deeper so that the ball's not going to fade as fast, so that there is something that your hand can grab onto months down the line. So we're not asking a kid to buy 8 balls a year, right?
Yeah.
Buy one quality ball. You should have it for a couple years. When maybe something comes out a little visually different, go ahead and buy that one. But it's not something where every month, every couple months, these clubs, these teams are having to buy tons of balls.
Yeah. So I think it's interesting you talk about the grooves, and like I was a player, I was a coach for a long time, dealing with water polo balls, and I think that's something that people don't really think about a lot. So like in your playing time, in your playing career, is that something you thought about, when you're handling a water polo ball, like, man, I wish this was different? Is that kind of went into your thought process?
100%. Throughout, I can't tell you, in the last 2 Olympics, how it was a big fight with us and FINA about how the overinflated the balls were.
Yeah.
Or how you use a ball one game and the next day it was terrible.
Yeah.
Right? And so what I was thinking is, for the last 40 years, even more, 60 years, like from when the water polo ball started with big leather, it went into like the Mikasa type ball. Well, now it's just, everyone just creates the same ball. No one has changed, or at least tried. I'd rather someone try something and fail, but keep trying so we can create the ultimate ball for our sport. Instead of, you look out there, and even at the high levels, people are dropping the ball all the time. The ball fades so fast. It's not moving. It's not great for a certain age group to use certain balls. So that's the idea. Think outside of the box. Create something that doesn't exist and keep going along that pattern.
Awesome. So do you think, I've practiced with the ball a couple times now, and I definitely feel what you're talking about the grip and the channels, and it kind of reminds me of a baseball, of like a pitcher gripping a baseball and the different seams and how to throw a pitch. Do you think that ultimately, kind of with the grooves and the channels, that could be, something moving forward, like players can use it as a different shot, like you want to be innovative with the ball? Is that anything?
Absolutely. If a player that has smaller hands is able to now control the ball more in a different way, or a player with normal size hand is able to use more fingers to get the ball or spin a different way, that's an advantage for our sport, right?
Yeah.
The more that an average player or person in the water can take the ball and feel comfortable with their hand, the better it is for us. We'll keep developing. I think right now it is a great ball, but we'll keep developing so that in the water it becomes the stickiest, most wonderful ball in your hand, and that's the dream.
Yeah, some sticky gloves like on football. So ultimately, what would be your major goal for the ball? If you could walk away at the end of the day, what would you feel most proud of about this ball being on the market? What's something you really want people to take away?
Look, I think one of the biggest things that we have for this ball is that it can be the most effective in the ocean, in the sea, with the salt,
awesome,
right?
Yeah.
There's nothing out there for that. This is a ball that has bigger grip because the ocean, as we know, is a little slipperier.
Yeah.
So that's a big one, I think, that we can start pushing water polo into other arenas, which is going to grow the sport. What I've never been about really the ball, the suit business. I'm about the water polo business, right?
Definitely.
6-8 Sports with me and Maggie is about the sport, the youth sport business. So if we can help grow the sport of water polo by now having water polo in bigger places, donating to areas that need balls, as well as, pushing the youth sports and making sure they're using the right sizes so we're not having so many injuries like we do today, then we're on the right track. That's where I'm behind, is for the sport of water polo and for the kids.
Yeah. I personally think it's great. Like you said, it's competition. It's healthy competition at the end of the day. All these other major sports have, 2 or 3 different balls they get to use. So I personally think it's really cool. I think it's a good ball. I think a lot of people are going to be happy with it. So we're extremely lucky. Tony is traveling all the time. This is a very rare occurrence that he's actually sitting down and we get an opportunity to talk to him. One of the things that he's doing is working with Maggie with 6-8 Sports. Do you want to dive into that a little bit? What's kind of going on if people aren't too familiar?
Yeah, so really 6-8 Sports is 6 for Maggie, 8 for me. And our dream is to take water polo into the 21st century, into the 22nd century. Let's make sure our sport is now considered one of the more technologically advanced sports. So we focus on measurables, right? Allowing kids to see where they stand with kids from around the world on our app. We're the first game collection, so you can start scoring your kid's game. They can start collecting stats, so we can see over time how many goals did he score, how many assists did he have, how many shot blocks, which no one knows how many games I played.
Yeah.
And I look back and say I had a 20-year career of never having an injury, but yet how can they see what I did, right? Mm-hmm. They can't. So we need to start getting into this, and as well as we've created a lot of videos where we can start helping kids in and out of the water understand better the best technique so that they can succeed and that also they can help prevent injury.
No, that's awesome, because a lot of people are, like you said, you and Maggie are doing something that other major sports are doing, and it's time for water polo, like you said, again, even in the 22nd century with what we're doing. Everything's been, so cut and dry for however many years now. What's something that you have found the kids are finding very beneficial, like any comments that you've gotten, like maybe a dry land workout or something in the pool that they're not used to doing at their club practice or high school practice?
I think one of the biggest positive feedbacks that me and Maggie have gotten are our series of helping kids outside of the water. We understand the difficulty in finding pool time, right? Not everyone has a beautiful pool in their backyard that has an official goal that they can play on. So how do they, who are so passionate, continue to grow if they don't have that opportunity? Or how does players outside of California or areas where you can have more access to pools continuously grow? And our dryland series, we just did one with the impact ball, our positioning series on how you can improve outside of the water has really been the biggest hit.
Okay, great. And this is all accessible through an app too, correct?
Yeah, so 6-8 Sports app. You can find it at the Apple Store right now. We're coming up with a lot of new things coming up in the next couple months. Obviously, we partnered with USA Water Polo and ODP, and we're just excited for the future of our sport.
Nice, awesome. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people on social media talking about it and using it, like from your videos and stuff, so that's really cool. Is there anything that you're looking forward to coming up here? Maybe an event, a clinic, a camp, anything?
Yeah, no, I think we have, this last summer was the first time I did the AllStar. So I took 14 kids from around the world, and I chose them to come to Croatia and be trained by me and 2 Olympic gold medalists from Croatia. And it turned out to be the greatest event. Yeah. So we're going to start this on an annual basis. Every summer I'll choose 14 girls, 14 guys, and we'll create this great opportunity. We run some events in Italy as well. We're doing a spring break trip there. And it's fun. We're just constantly doing things right now that I feel can be done, but no one's really had the time to do it, and that's really been our dedication, is do things that people aren't doing over and over again and do it differently.
Yeah, something that people can get excited about. I don't think anybody's ever done an all-star training trip like that. That sounds super rad. How do you pick the kids for that?
So after they've come to some of my camps, I always usually write down kids that I was impressed with, both character-wise mostly, and then talent, ability, both men and women. And I basically go through that list and pick my top 14 and invite them. And last year we had all 14 come, and it was really exciting. So I think this year we already have a lot asking, but we wanted to have kids that have the character that they're going to continuously work, and not just the kids that decide that that they have talent, but yet they don't have the character and they don't actually want to work hard to be great.
Yeah. So that sounds like you got a lot going on in the summer. We're heading into our big heavy water polo season with high school boys here in California getting going, and we got NCAA for men's, women's coming up shortly after that, and then we have Olympics. Are there any big storylines you're looking at? Any teams or any water polo events USA related that you're really excited about?
No, it's just I'm excited to see this boys' season. Last year I was really busy. I leave to Australia in a couple days, and so we're going to start doing things over there. But I'm really excited to just see some of the college games, right? See Stanford, UCLA, my boy Pepperdine, Long Beach State has I think it's going to be a good college season. To go and see some of these high school games, right? It's great because I've seen so many kids that now kind of asking them, hey, let me see when you play so I can watch you play. Like all those all-star kids, I'm going to go watch one of their games and say hi to them. So that'll be fun.
Awesome. So final thing, for like any kids watching the video, is there anything that you'd like them to take away, or if you could instill something in them to become a better player? Maybe not necessarily, hey, obviously you have to shoot the ball harder or anything like that, but what is something that you would really hope, a kid will walk away and really focus on as they're training and trying to get better?
Look, I think the most important thing that every kid needs to understand is it's not what you do in practice that makes you great, it's what you do after or before practice, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, you can look back on all the stories of great athletes in the world, and the one thing they have in common is they all woke up at a crazy hour, they all changed their diet, they all stayed extra and worked harder, right? There was always an X factor to these athletes, right? Now, don't get me wrong, you're always going to have guys who are talented that just go through practice and do a great job in practice and succeed, but for the most part, if you want to be the best, then you got to work like the best. And I think a lot of times we think, oh, I'm just going through the motions in water polo, coach tells me to do that, I'll do that and I'll get better. Well, think about that. Why is he having you do that? Crush it, go home, think about it even more, come mentally prepared. Where's your weakness? Work on it in the off season or times you don't have practice, and that's when you're going to succeed.
Awesome. I completely agree. I think, a lot of people, think, like you said, going through the motions, but what's what you do, before and after practice. So that's really good. So that's it. Tony has a brand new ball coming out. Be sure to look for that. He's got 6'8 Sports. Find the app. Check out some cool things with him and Maggie. And then he's got his Azevedo water polo collection on Ryte Sport, Ryte. So check it out. Thank you very much.
Peace.